From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is a severe weather alert.
All right, it's just hitting 3 o'clock here. I'm Fred Gossage along with Chase Wilson in the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Just another quick update on the thunderstorms moving in. We do still have a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings across the area until 3:15. Technically, we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern areas of Giles County. It's basically I-65 and east, and it's moving over in the Lincoln County out of our viewing area, but there's a new severe thunderstorm warning over there for Lincoln, Franklin, and Moore counties in Tennessee. There's also a severe thunderstorm warning still up in northwest Alabama till 3:30 for western and central Colbert County, north and western Franklin County. And again, they still technically have southern Lauderdale County, but it's growing increasingly obvious that the storm is going to stay south of Lauderdale County. We'll take our northern one first because there's been a lot of buzz about this storm, even though we can verify with multiple sensor sites that this has not been producing severe criteria wind. Keep in mind, the word severe does not mean loud, does not mean it's bad outside. There's actually criteria that we don't decide. That's decided by the National Weather Service, and it's been the same since the 1950s or before. The only thing they've done is they've upped the hail size just a little bit several years ago. In order for a storm to be severe, it has to, non-negotiable, non-debatable, be producing winds of 58 miles per hour or greater, or hail to the size of quarters or larger. They warned for that, for the potential for that, as the storm had a bow echo on radar. However, this thing has been coming across multiple sensor sites in Giles County, in Lawrence County in Tennessee, back into Wayne County in Tennessee, in northern Lauderdale County in Alabama, and not once in that entire track have we been able to confirm those 58 plus mile per hour winds. Now, that's not a knock on the Weather Service, because sometimes you just have to issue the warning and play it on the safe side, but we can confirm along a long distance of tracks that no, those winds of 58, 60 miles an hour weren't making it all the way to the ground because cool, stable surface conditions. Now that initial storm cluster that prompted the warning is shifting out of Giles County over into Lincoln County. For Giles County, that threat is ending. There's another storm cluster. We'll center up that back into southern areas of Giles County, northwest Limestone County. Notice there's not a warning for that, and there doesn't need to be. There could be 20 or 30 mile per hour winds. That's the kind of winds that was verified with the first storm that was coming through. We observed that on multiple sensor sites. That's the range the winds were blowing, 20, 30, 35 miles an hour. That may be the same here. There may be some pea to dime size hail. There was earlier a report in Lexington, Alabama, a quarter size hail, but the storm has since weakened. That's coming across the Stella area, Prospect toward Elkton, Elkmont, and Ardmore over the next 15 to 20 minutes. But these storms here, not severe. And that initial warning storm has now moved out of Giles County over into Lincoln County and out of our viewing area. So now we'll shift back into northwest Alabama and go to GWX, where we have our only other warning. And this is turning into a supercell. So I do think there is a hail concern here. However, we do also know that for right now, the storm is elevated behind its gust front. So even though you see that hook on radar, that curl in the pattern, that classic supercell shape that shows that the updraft is rotating, it's removed behind cool, stable air. We know that at least for now, unless that storm gets out ahead of that cool, stable air, that rotation is not at the surface, which is certainly good news. Now keep in mind that the radar beam is about 5,000 feet, roughly give or take here. So we're seeing the mid-levels of the storm. You're not going to see that kind of signature if we were scanning right near the ground. But that kind of signature increases the potential for quarter to $half size hail. And that's why there is the warning in place. Technically, it does include far northern Franklin County, Alabama, till 3:30, but I can tell you that the higher hail threat is staying north of the Franklin County line unless there's a right turn. It looks like it's a Cherokee County situation. I can also tell you, as I told you on the last couple updates here, that's staying south of Lauderdale County. It's very clear that the body of this storm is staying off to the south of Lauderdale County. There is the potential for quarter to $half size hail here. And I would say, honestly, even though it's elevated, maybe some 30 to 40 mile per hour winds, And you can see all the lightning that's associated with it. It's going to sound crazy with the lightning and the thunder there in central and southern Colbert County and far northern Franklin County. Let's do a track out ahead of this thing going east at 40 or 45 miles an hour, something like that. Talk about times of arrival for the next 30 minutes. Rock Creek, this is not for rain. This is not for lightning. This is for the potential for hail and maybe 30, 40 mile per hour winds. Rock Creek at 311, Pleasant Grove 312, Newsom Springs 312. And let's get the storm a little bit more into view here. Frankfort 317, Crooked Oak 320, New Bethel 321, Hawk Pride at 321, Lime Rock at 324, Flatwoods, that's in northwest Alabama here, at 325, Fairview 326, Russellville, although I think it's going to stay just north of you with the worst of it, 327, Colbert Heights 328, Littleville 329, Waco 333, and Spring Valley 334. We'll clear this off. We will look at storm relative velocity. However, keep in mind, we're looking about 5,000 feet. And notice that even here, despite that big hook, even in the mid-levels, there's not a clear, strong rotational signature. It's very broad and very weak, which definitely tells me there's nothing strong at the ground. So not a tornado concern, despite what that thing looks like on reflectivity. And now that hook is getting closed in on itself on reflectivity, telling me even more that it's not a tornado threat. So we're not concerned about that. Main threat with this storm, nearly constant lightning that you need to be inside away from windows for. The potential for 30, 40, maybe 50 mile per hour winds, but I think that's a big stretch. And the potential for quarter to half dollar size hail over the next 30 minutes. We'll take the watch warning map here. And there is still a tornado watch for North Alabama that runs until 5 a.m. and also goes for Northeast Mississippi. However, the threat's ending for Northeast Mississippi with time. Notice that for our viewing area counties in southern Middle Tennessee, the tornado watch has expired on time, and that severe thunderstorm that was in Giles County, it's pushed on out of the way. There's still lightning and thunder here. There's still more non-severe storms with lightning and thunder and heavy rain developing back to the west, but those are not going to be severe as we go through the morning. We'll continue to watch things very carefully. The next live scheduled update is at 3:30, but we'll come back sooner if new warnings are issued. And we'll continue to do these updates until the threat winds down this morning. For Chase Wilson, I'm Fred Gossage, live from the Tennessee Valley Weather Center. Stay with Tennessee Valley Weather. We'll keep you advised.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.